What's up, everybody? Welcome to 19 Series Outdoors. I'm Dave,
I'm Jake.
and today our topic of discussion is going to be finding new hunting properties and the avenues to take to get permission on said properties. So we got our big four. Let's start off. Number one is going to be public land.
Yeah, everybody, and their brother knows the public land. They know there's somewhere to go. Unfortunately, a lot of times you're going to run into that orange army. You're going to run into, everybody out there using the same game lands.
Yeah, you don't have to do it to where you're in the same parking lot as 9 other pickup trucks. There's other avenues of approach you can take, such as finding somewhere outside the box. Like around us, we have probably 7 to 8 different islands that run along the Susquehanna River that are huge, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
they're just big.
I think the largest one is close to I want to say a mile in length, but I could be wrong. But they're, upwards of half a mile or bigger.
Yeah, and all these islands hold deer all year long.
Yeah, you sit down there and fish in some of these areas. I know for a while we were in almost every night or every other night we were watching deer cross out to even some of the smaller islands. They're like a quarter mile, like.
And it's crazy. If there's deer on all these islands in the Harrisburg area, there's definitely deer on islands everywhere
Yeah,
else.
I mean, think about the Mississippi and all the islands. It
Yeah,
has.
we're in a largely populated area, and you have deer on every single one. We've
Yeah,
seen bear on one.
yeah, yeah. So it's a nice little out of the way sort of place to go. Um, there are some, obvious safety considerations taken into effect, but it can be very rewarding to have your own little,
Your own little honey hole, your
yeah,
own little private piece,
yeah,
even though it's not so private.
yeah.
All right, let's move into number two. Door knocking, asking permission.
This is my favorite. I do it routinely, it seems. It's, you're going to have a lot more denial than you do, uh, permission. A lot of farmers, all my brother's son's wife's
Cousins,
husband,
yeah, yeah, everybody's got something to say. There's some sort of excuse, but it doesn't hurt to ask.
no, it's a long process. A lot of guys will offer to help around the farm. I can't remember if I've personally done that, but I usually start out by taking their varmint species, pigeons, groundhogs. You can even get in there and get predators. Uh, just something to get your foot in the door and make sure you're always giving back to that farmer so that you build that rapport and you can eventually hunt deer. Because, I mean, one property I've got's got some big deer on it, but I can't shoot them just yet. So,
So let's throw a little curveball in with door knocking. You don't have to just stop and ask every farm. There's other places out there. If you think about it, you've got all these businesses and these large corporations. Their property line doesn't stop at the edge of their parking lot.
no.
They own the wooded areas around these businesses. You can look on Onyx, you can look on Spark Forge, and you can see it all. So take the time, give it a shot. What are they going to do? They say no, they say no. Then you move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Same with golf courses. You go out there, ask if you can hunt. More than likely, one of them is going to allow you to.
Yeah, because they all have almost every golf course we've been to, and we've been to a lot,
Yeah,
always has,
we're big golfers. You'll see that coming soon.
they always have geese, and they hate the geese. They, you know, poop everywhere. They eat the grass, tear everything up. So they're always more than happy to have guys come in on the off season and try and take a bunch out because a lot of those geese live there almost year round.
Yeah, they don't have to leave. They have
Yeah.
everything they need.
So even, I mean, a lot of them we run into deer as well. They're not so much of a problem, but a lot of golf courses are, impartial to them. So it
Yeah,
doesn't hurt to, after your round of golf, be like, hey, seen a nice deer out there. You guys let anybody come in and hunt?
yeah. The guy at the pro shop's not gonna. He's not gonna bite. Even if he says no. Okay, cool. It is what it is. So let's move on to our third topic here, which is leases.
Yeah, we just picked one up ourselves. It's a fairly painless process. And it can be rather rewarding because you get all the benefits of private land without owning private land and, putting that extra money into buying it, property taxes, what have you. Um,
Yeah, you're still getting. You're essentially getting the farm that you want
yeah,
without actually going through all of the massive headaches. And say something happens in life where okay, we can't afford this anymore. You don't have to sell anything. You don't have to deal with a realtor. You don't have to deal with anything. You just don't renew the lease next year.
yeah,
It's the best of both worlds. It's the cream of the crop for me. I love it.
yeah. And you can really affect how much you spend on it by going in on it with people. Like we went through a broker and every one of their listings has like recommended or maximum amount of people you can have on that lease. Ours was three guys and it came out to like $1,100 um,
Yeah, I can
per
think of
person.
a lot of different things I've spent way more than $1,000 on
Yeah.
that is way stupider, but
Yeah.
that's besides the point.
But yeah, you get it gives you that nice reward because you can essentially do what you want with that land in terms of management. Um, from the managing the land to managing your deer herd and not have to worry about, oh well, can I afford this year, can I afford that this
all right, well, I'm going to throw you for a curveball on this one. So everybody looks like us. They try and find these leases. They look through brokers. They do all this stuff to find that perfect spot when really it could be right in front of you. Every year we go out, we cut Christmas trees down.
Yeah.
These Christmas tree farms, I know of three in the Harrisburg area, central Pennsylvania area, that all do leases. Granted, some of them are a little more of a hunt club style esque, where you have more guys, but it's still more property. It's still something new. It's still another tool in your toolbox to use, because you don't want to have one little piece of ground where you say, "All right, this is my spot for the year,"
Yeah.
and next thing you know, you blow it out. You don't see anything. All right, let's move on to number four. Last and probably the best, but the hardest to come by, which is buying your own property.
Yeah, I mean, it's in my opinion, it's everyone's end goal.
It's the
Um,
dream, man.
yeah, a lot of people in recent years have talked about, a cabin on 10 acres, 20 acres, what have you. Um, but it's hard. You got to consider, all the costs that go into it. But even then, it's still very rewarding when you manage that land properly. But in that aspect too, when it comes to cost, you can make that land work for you. You can,
Yeah, you can have farmers if you own 2, 3 fields, you lease that ground out to a local farmer, someone who was trying to do the same thing you're doing.
yeah,
It's a little different but similar. They need land to make money. You have land, so you make a little bit of money. It's a it's a balance. It's
yeah.
a happy medium. You can also timber pieces off. I'm not the biggest timber fan, but it has its pros and its cons. It has its good and its bad. But if you're scrounging for money and you have, I don't know, 150 acres and you timber 15, 20 of it, yeah, it doesn't suck a little bit. It can. Is it good a little bit? It can be, but it's still a way to keep that farm once you have it.
And even with timbering, say you don't cut all of it, you selectively harvest it. which whoever you have do it will tell you what trees bring the most, and you can tell them what trees to leave and all that. That goes into, managing your deer herd. You're opening up that, top canopy, allowing sunlight to the bottom to grow that
Yeah, it makes for more
natural
growth.
forage
Yep.
and natural bedding areas for those deer. Um, and you're making a little money doing it. It's got its pros and its cons, but it's, in my opinion, the most rewarding way of acquiring property.
It's the goal, man.
Yeah,
That's the goal.
yeah,
Own that piece of land and you pass it down.
yeah,
But let's not dive too deep into it. If you guys made it this far, hit that little button in the bottom corner there. Give
yeah.
us a subscribe, follow, a like, share us. We got a lot of content on the way for 2025, and
It's gonna be a good year.
yeah, it's gonna be fantastic. All right, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
See ya.